Well, it seems like we've had a great run in the DFW, and would be a great opportunity to keep that going this weekend, playing against Arkansas and American Airlines. I mean, that's a fantastic venue. I know our guys are excited to play in, but really more than anything, it's the opponent. Just a tremendous team with crazy talent, and they're competitively as fast as any team will play, and just how difficult they make people score, how hard they make it for people to score on them, and then the way they push in transition. And I just love their team. So I know we got our hands full, but we're excited about the opportunity.
Coach, how has this team progressed on the boards, and where that you want them to be?
Well, the biggest thing for us is just how do we apply, a physical play. I mean, we're kind of caught in between sometimes in size, and so you think that your job is just to box somebody out or just to go get the ball, and our team's embracing how do we do both those things, and how do you do it over the course of 40 minutes. Man, I've really been thrilled with the way our team's competed as a whole and the way we've gotten better at rebounding. We're not where we need to be, but I thought what we did against LSU was a good jump in regard to the way we rebounded.
How has this non-conference schedule and this game versus Arkansas going to help prepare you for the battle, which is the Big 12?
I tried to tell people about this team. Okay, so, a schedule tells you where you're at. That's what it does. And if you make it a difficult schedule, it'll reveal what you're not good at. And our team's kind of like we've got the right ingredients, we've got the right place to do it, we got everything, but we're giving out food that's not fully prepared. And so it doesn't look great. It doesn't taste great. It doesn't seem right. And I just think the more time we're able to prepare this team, you saw on Sunday against LSU, you get to see what that schedule does. It shows you what you need to get better at, but you got to have that time to actually get better at those things that you get exposed on, and you got to be more prepared. And, man, I just tell you, the more time this team gets together, because I trust their character, I trust their love for this game, and I trust our competitiveness. We've got the right group, and I think that's where I'm thankful for the schedule. I wish we'd have had more practice time in October with this group, so we could have had a better showing of who I think this team can be. But there's plenty of time for that to happen. We just got to take advantage of every opportunity, and this schedule has exposed us and allowed us to see what we need to be better at so that we can be great in Big 12 play.
Yeah, Coach. I saw that y'all went to the game on Saturday, and just kind of wanted to hear more about y'all's off the court kind of team bonding, team chemistry activities, and how important it is.
Yeah, well, in the fall, we do a retreat where we take our team to different locations. We went to Cedar Canyon this year again, and just do things that don't have anything to do with hoops. And it's a blast. Like one of them was you get them up there, and every one of the players has to tell 3 things about themselves, and one of them's a lie. And then everybody has to decide what the lie was. So then you draw tape lines on the carpet, and you got to go stand in 1, 2, or 3, which one you think is the lie. And for everyone you get wrong, everybody that got it wrong has to pull a challenge, I would say, out of the hat, and one of them would be like, you got to do your favorite TikTok dance if you lose. So then all the guys that guessed wrong on Leon Horner's lie has to go up there and do that. And just things like that, when you get to see each other for who you are, not necessarily who you are as a basketball player. I think there's a relatability to life and going through difficult times with people that you love. And the only way you get to know people is by doing things that don't have anything to do with hoops. They would not be on this team if they weren't great at basketball. We've established that already. But I do think there's a camaraderie in this world of transaction, that how do you create a depth in relationship that I think gives value to every meaningful moment that you have outside of basketball. And it's brought our team closer together. I thought going to the Big 12 championship game was really pivotal, but I thought more importantly that night when we just sat around and all talked about what we saw and what we experienced. And I will tell you, the first thing we experienced when we walked into AT&T Stadium and you saw was all the red. And we got there because we had a fog delay and leaving Lubbock, and there was fog on the ground in Fort Worth and Dallas where we were landing. So when we walked in, the game had already started a couple minutes, but it was so phenomenally loud. Our guys don't do that very often. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time our team's gone to a game. I mean, we go to home football games, because we do that. But a road game or a neutral game where we've had our team together, I mean, we haven't done that ever. I mean, we don't go watch an NBA team. We don't go watch other things. So for us to do that together and for not to be a venue that we're playing at yet, it was honestly super impactful. But what was really impactful was hearing all their different perspectives on it. I mean, you go in as a fan, but those are people we know and we love and we all cheer for and we hope do well. And I think the coolest part was just to hear them talk about how the football players celebrated each other, and how they were there for each other. And when the game was going good or bad, they just felt like the energy of the team was connected and how they really did only care about winning the football game. And I just love hearing them talk about it. It's like any high-level performing team, if your team gets to be around them, you take things from them. And I thought our guys were like hit it right on, and everybody talked about it. It was just cool to hear them communicate, the Red Raiders and how full that place was and how loud it was and just the belief behind everybody. And then the other one would be just how connected. So, the team bonding part of it is real, because they're real people and they go through real things and they do care about each other. And I think that's the most important thing that we do.
Coach, you've preached all season long about this team being great on the defensive end. Coming off the LSU game, what would you say is your assessment so far on how they are defensively?
Well, I can tell you this. I've never said we're great. I know we could be. We're actually, and defensively, we've got the largest place of growth that we can, and it's great to have Luke out there because Luke really adds a formidable component to what we do defensively with his shot blocking and his length and his activity. I'll tell you, I thought our ball screen coverage defense was significantly improved in the LSU game, and I just thought that our rotations and our help side defense was more connected, and we caused more problems in closeouts of creating and closing windows and gaps on people quicker. And I mean, anytime you can make people make shots that aren't in the flow of what they do, that's an advantage to the defense. And I thought we were better at that in the LSU game and took a step forward in the right direction.
What's going to be the biggest challenge when it comes to this Arkansas team?
Well, you got to start with their transition offense. I mean, I can't imagine a team that's better than them in the country. I mean, Arkansas is as fast, as athletic, as dynamic, and as good at finishing. When they have a great rebounding component to their transition offense, and they have a great shot making component to their offense. I mean, there's not a shortage of talent running around on the way that they compete, and I just respect the way that they improve. Honestly, it's like what their team did last year and had that tough start to SEC play, and then they just turned into, as good a team as there was in the country. And how do I know? Because we played them, and I felt it. And we'd played against great teams up to that point, and that was one of the best teams we played. I feel that way about this team and watching them prepare and watching them from the Southern game to playing against Louisville and playing in real games that are difficult to win. I just really respect the way this team continues to improve, and their ability to help each other get better is improved also.
Coach, against LSU, y'all had 4 players in double digits, but y'all had 2 more kind of just scratching right there, so y'all are sharing the ball. How have you liked that ball sharing and how it's grown, especially headed into Arkansas?
Well, I'll tell you, there is a difficulty because JT Toppin's such a prolific scorer that some of the actions that we run culminate in him scoring quickly. And then you play against better teams, and that doesn't happen as quickly. And then Christian Anderson can obviously heat up quickly. So those two guys playing, but if those shots aren't as available quickly as you would want, you just have to learn how to get to the next action. And that's where our involvement our ability to involve other people when they they stop the first action. How quickly can we get to the next action and create an advantage that way? Because the best offenses can score in transition, but they can also make people defend, and they can create advantages and then turn down some maybe average shots to get great shots. And I thought we finally took that approach. And it's difficult, though, because I think, every game presents a different challenge, and you're trying to help your team understand this game's challenge is going to be different than the last game, but then you get out there and it takes them a while to figure it out. Well, we had some more practice time going into LSU, and I thought we were better prepared in regards to how we wanted to attack and our patience to get a great shot instead of limiting ourselves to shooting an average good shot to start the possession.
And then you talked about the team walking into the AT&T and seeing all the red, but walking into Dickey's, that was all red. Even with North Texas and TCU following right up, there just wasn't as much green or purple. It was just all red. So how are you hoping that translates again into this weekend, not in Fort Worth, but now in Dallas?
Yeah, well, I can tell you this, Red Raiders show up. That's what makes us great. And we do have a lot going on. So I do want to acknowledge that. In the world of college athletics right now, the Red Raiders have as good a run going right now with football playing great, and our basketball team have an opportunity. Our Lady Raiders are playing awesome. There's just so many great momentum. There's so much great momentum to what we're doing. But I just want to acknowledge, I know it's hard to keep up, and it is difficult to go to all these venues and what it costs and the time it takes. And I'm just so thankful that we have people that love being a part of this and show up and are there for us, like it was in Dickey's, where it wasn't even close. We had the most people in the building. They were Red Raiders, and it was red, and it's real. And I expect us to have that same advantage when we play in Dallas on Saturday morning. It'll be an early tip, though, so 11 a.m. It'll be fun to play the game there, and I know it'll be an exciting time. And we need our people there. That's an at-home advantage, and I don't know if people recognize, but when we played Purdue in the Bahamas, it was 90% Purdue, and that was a road game. And any way you look at it, even though the venue wasn't their home arena, the momentum of that game was real. And so that's a real thing, and I thought it was a real thing at Dickey's Arena when we played LSU. The momentum was significantly on our side, and that would be huge for us to have that in Dallas at American Airlines against a great Arkansas team.
You mentioned Arkansas's transition offense. One of the things kind of for you guys is even if you're not turning it over a lot, the opponents are getting a lot of points off your turnovers. What do you kind of equate that to, and what is kind of the fix for that to limit those a little bit more?
Well, I think it's twofold. It feels like a lot of the turnovers that happen for us are – you know the difference. It's live ball and dead ball turnovers, and sometimes it's a travel. And I think if you look at the Illinois game, that can be deceiving too. We just didn't guard them. They scored well in the half court, and then I think when you evaluate turnovers, it's the catastrophic ones that turn quick into baskets that have been what's caused us. It is a real problem. And a little bit of that is the size of who we have out there back in transition on these disadvantages. But I think we've made a stride in the right direction. Like the LSU game, for example, at the end of the game when we had some turnovers that led to baskets, that was ridiculous. But when the game was on the line, we've had it a couple times where we've sprinted back and actually done a good job of making it difficult without fouling. And we've ended up with the ball, and we started the game making that happen a couple times too. So I would just say it's really something I feel like we'll have a better handle on, but a lot of it is just the size and length at the rim of our guards when people are transitioning back to when we turn it over, and we're not big at some of those spots, and it can allow people to have an advantage.
You've had big games in non-con already to this point, but do you feel like you're a little bit better prepared for this one, considering you've got your top 6-7 guys more time on the court together than Illinois and Purdue?
We're definitely at a better place in regards to our experience as a team playing together going into this Arkansas game than we were any other game that we played up to this point, which is what you would hope this time of year. But I can tell you this, Arkansas is the same way. I mean, if you look at their roster and all the new guys they've added, I mean, they're playing their best basketball now. I mean, if you watch the games that they're playing versus what they were doing earlier, I mean, they've improved. So that's what you hope this time of year, that you see improvement and you get to be challenged, and we'll have a huge challenge. But I'm excited about our team's ability to improve, and we've definitely done that the last few weeks. Thank y'all.